Good evening, everybody. This is Stephen Howson. This full-time Devils. Manchester United have beaten Arsenal 3-1 at the Emirates. And do you know what? All of those absolute nuggets that started chatting on about United always parking a bus at top 6 teams, how about sit back, shut your mouth, and have a look at what happened today? So United started off like an absolute rocket, didn't we? We went out, we put them under the cosh straight away. Inside the first 12-15 minutes with 2 goals to the good, and those 2 goals proved to be the difference between United and Arsenal in this game. And that was basically enough to see us over the line, wasn't it? Now, I thought Arsenal was going to come for us. Arsenal came for us, and they came, and we just got pushed back. Yes, we took our foot off the gas. Yes, we couldn't play the way we wanted to after that. And yes, they started to just pen us into our half and reduce us to playing on the counter-attack. But we didn't need to attack. We didn't need to leave unnecessary gaps to try and chase a 3rd or a 4th goal when we was 2 goals to the good. Half-time comes, second half starts, Arsenal get their goal, and it looked shaky. And I was not very confident that 2 goals was going to be enough for us. I thought, we're definitely going to need 3, and we might even need 4 the way this is going. But for the heroics of David De Gea, we keep in the game, we keep them to 1 goal. Jesse Lingard goes up the pitch and doubles his tally, and Manchester United are not losing this game. And do you know what? I can't sit here and say it was a fantastic performance as a team. Individually, there was some pretty good performances. David De Gea probably takes man of the match with a godlike performance in goal. Almost like cheat mode. It was ridiculous. Apart from that, there was times where every single player on the pitch was good and every single player on the pitch was sloppy. That's just the nature of the way it is sometimes when you've got your backs to the wall. I think they ended up with something along the lines of like 74% possession, which meant that we spent so much of the time without the ball. We wasn't the greatest when we had the ball, but we was effective when we got the 3 points. What United mostly did in this game was defended with our backs to the wall and tried to hit them on the counter-attack. And it worked, ultimately. I think we went out to go and hit them on the front foot, and that's why we ended up a couple of goals to the good. And after that, Arsenal threw everything, including the kitchen sink at us, and it wasn't enough. The big thing that we have to talk about, though, is Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba has absolutely rinsed us. Absolutely rinsed us. Now, I've seen loads of people arguing, he meant it, he didn't mean it. I need to see it again. But my initial thoughts after seeing it live and then seeing the replays of it is that I think he stretched to do it. And if he stretched to do it, he's given the referee a decision to make. I don't care that Bellerin's kneeling down. Yeah, it's weird, but it doesn't matter. You can't stand on somebody like that. Paul Pogba gave the referee a decision to make. The referee made a decision, and that has absolutely fucked our chances for having any sort of effect in a derby next week. We could have lined up with a similar sort of system to what we've seen today. Allow City to have the ball and try them hitting on the counter-attack using the pace that we've got. But the pace that we have got is absolutely useless without somebody who can find a pass. Paul Pogba is the guy that finds that pass. Paul Pogba is the guy that finds that pass. Without him, I don't know how we beat that City team. I really don't. With him, yeah, I was like, do you know what? Looking forward to this now after seeing that unbelievable performance from United on the road at Watford on Tuesday night. Another great performance here today. Bring them on. Bring on the City team in the Manchester derby. They're conceding goals left, right and centre. They will concede goals against Manchester United. Bring them on. But no Paul Pogba. And I can only look at what we did last month when we was utter dog shit without Paul Pogba and say, that's how it's going to be. There's no other way for it to be anywhere different. Without Paul Pogba, United are not a very good footballing team. And we need to be a very good footballing team to beat Manchester City. Fact. So I don't know what we're going to do. I have no idea what we're going to do now. When we try and line up and we try and beat that City team, I have no idea. I'm going to come to the comments and see what you guys think in a minute. But I think that was a good 3 points won from Manchester United today if we're just focusing on today's good performance. Now, people are going to say we're part of the bus and we let them have possession. Yeah, after we was 2-0 up. Don't let what happened and the eventual outcome of how the game was statistically pretend that was the intent from the start. There was no way Mourinho would have said, listen, we're going to go 2 goals up in the first 10 minutes. No manager ever expects to be 2 goals up in the first 10 minutes. You can hope, you can try and play a certain way that you think an early goal is possible in the first 20 or 30. But you're not going to be sitting in the team talk or on the bus on the way down and be like, remember, we're going to be 2-0 up after 10 minutes, right? So after that, it's all going to kick into gear, the plan. That's not the way it goes down. You can plan for eventualities, you can hope to hit them at certain ways, and you can hope to have certain contingencies in place, but there's no way that United expected to be 2-0 up. Unbelievably clinical from United, 2 shots on target, 2-0 up, and that literally sealed the game, although it didn't feel like it, did it? Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. Alright, the comments aren't coming up. Here we go. We should appeal about Pogba, says Harry Singh. I've seen a few people saying, can they appeal? I got it wrong earlier. I thought you could only appeal a mistaken identity, or I thought that was the only ones that ever get rescinded. You can appeal any straight red card as long as it's not 2 yellows. You can appeal. The thing is, though, you still appeal wrongful dismissal. So you're like, how is it a wrongful dismissal? Did he stand on him? Yeah. That's all the FA is going to do. They're going to back the referee. They're going to say, yeah, he was whatever. Ander needs to be 100%. Ander's not looking good at the moment, but I think he'll probably get a start on Tuesday night against CSK. A couple of people saying, how was it a red? He stood on him. He stood on him. And whether you agree or not, he stood on him. You can't stand on him. For me, it looked like he stretched. It looked like it looked like he stretched to get him. And I don't know if that was because of the tackle a little bit earlier. But for me, it looked like he stretched to get him, and if he stretched to get him, then it was deliberate. I'd love to be able to sit here and say, yeah, it was an unfair red card, and let's appeal it. We'll definitely get it turned over. But I'm being honest with you guys. I don't think it was that. I don't think it was that case. I honestly think it was probably deserved. In all honesty, Fellaini for Pogba. It's probably gonna be Fellaini for Pogba, but Fellaini's uses are not in the same sense. He's not going to move the ball up through the thirds and pick a pass out for someone, tear arsing down into the final third, is he? That's what Paul Pogba does. Just because he's another big lump doesn't mean that he's going to do the exact same job as him. He does something totally different. You stop thinking about what happened with the ball. He stood on him. You can't stand on people. And whether or not he touched the ball first before standing on him, it doesn't really matter. It looked like a red card to me. So all I'm going to say is, I'm sure United will probably appeal it. It's only £1,500, I think, to appeal it. So I think it was deliberate. You can have your opinion on it, but I think it was a red card, and I think it was silly. I don't think it was accidental at all. We have no balance at all, says Art. Balance going into the City game is going to be huge for us. And I don't know where we got it. I still think we needed 3 men in midfield. Still definitely think we needed 3 men in midfield here today. Maybe I've been proved wrong by how potent we was on the counter-attack. Maybe against City you'll see us line up with a 3-man midfield. Maybe not. Maybe it'll be 3-5-2. I hope it is. I hope it is. I think that's the most effective way for us to get in there. You've got to hit City into the channels behind their fullbacks, because their fullbacks really push on. But I'm not sure that's going to be the case. It's not deliberate. Pogba's not that type of player. That's a nonsense argument. You're not that type of player until you are that type of player. Thoughts on some utter knobhead saying the best team lost? Well, you lost. You're a loser. Maybe you should ask them for a rematch. Dickhead. Time for Matic, Fellaini and Herrera. I think it's got to be something along those lines. Why were Arsenal fans so cocky before the game? Because it's Arsenal fans, in it. You should be used to this by now. Fantastic game of football. Yes. Can I just say that actually? Yeah, it was hard work watching, wasn't it? It was breathtaking. Brilliant end-to-end stuff. And that first 15 minutes or so, United was going for them like we didn't fear them, and that was really good to see. It wasn't like we was like, oh, maybe we shouldn't attack. No, the whole team was just going for it, and that was what Manchester United is all about. We turn up at someone else's ground and we say, yeah, there might be a tactical plan in this to try and turn this over, but you know what? Let's get in the mix. Let's get in there and get after them. Let's have some shots and let's go for it. Now, I would take a draw here today at the Emirates because it's an away game. You have to win that game next week. Does getting a win here mean that we can get a draw at weekend? Over the 3 games that we've had, 7 points out of 9 would have been a brilliant result, wouldn't it? All of us taking that all day long. I think I said I'd take 5. If we could get 7 points from all of these games? Would it have been a good 3 matches? I say yes. The problem is now going into this City game is that we can't claw City back if we only draw with them. We have to beat City to claw back that 8 points, which could have been 11 or more this week. But it's going to be 8 points probably going into the derby, which means a draw's probably still no good to us. I don't know. What do I make of Lingard's performance? This is what Jesse Lingard offers you. That movement in that final third. Yeah, it might not always be of the highest quality, but he's got that ability to be able to press. People in the comments, and I've seen more than one of you saying, give Angel Gomez a call-up. Are you living in the real world? You are not living in the real world, are you? Honestly. That's not going to happen, is it? What would my formation be against City? I would go 4-3-3. I can understand the reasons why, especially with how good we've looked with a 3 at the back, for going with a 3-5-2, because that gives you a back 3, a middle 3. You essentially get a 3 on the wings with your wide centre halves, your wing backs, and then your wider midfielders, and then that leaves you 2 men up front to go and do whatever they need to do, and that could be a Lingard, that could be a Mata, that could be a second striker alongside Lukaku, who's definitely going to start. Maybe it's even Zlatan, but you know, I don't know. We would have not won that with another goalkeeper. David De Gea is the best in the world. I'll fight anyone who says otherwise. No Pogba. We have lost the derby, says Tawid. I don't think we've definitely lost, but we've just made it 15-20% harder for ourselves, haven't we? We have no midfield against options against City. If we even had Michael Carrick to come in, that's a better shout than what we've had over the last month or so. 3-5-2 counter-attack. Marshall, Lukaku up front, says Oreo. Down with that. Valencia scored again. Valencia with a double meg. It was awesome, wasn't it? McTominay might be a bit too big of a game for him. I'd prefer a Carrick to come in. I don't know how close Carrick is to fitness. We must not lose to City. That's the problem, isn't it? City's not just a must win, it's a must not lose. And it's probably more of a must not lose than a must win, because a loss there is properly devastating, because that's going to flip it then from probably 11 to 14 points, which is crazy. Lingard is very underrated. He gets way too much stick. Oh, yeah, because he dances. How dare he dance? Mad, innit? Scholes back from BT. He can dictate play. He never relied on speed, did he? De Gea superb, says Pawan. How about Lindelof today? Decent, I thought, but I think everyone was a little bit sloppy at times. But that's just the nature of how much pressure we was under. Should have kept Rooney. Behave yourself, mate. Where would he be now? Honestly, can you actually seriously tell me what Wayne Rooney would be doing for us right now? Do I think Griezmann will arrive at United? I didn't see the rest of the question. Well, not before weekend, and that's all that I'm asked about at the moment, to be honest with you, mate. Why are people talking about transfers when we're right sandwiched in between 2 of the biggest games of the season? A lot of you people honestly genuinely care more about transfers than you do about the actual football that's being played. Are you insane? Need Andreas right now. Andreas would be an option, wouldn't he? Lingard better in the 10 behind the striker than on the wing, absolutely. Sit Zlatan behind Lukaku, like it. Never knew Lingard was that good since his last 2 matches. Lion Guard. Matic should have been man of the match. Matic had a decent game. Like I said, everybody had decent spells and sloppy, woohoo, crazy spells. Tuanzebe in midfield against City, maybe a bit more of an option. If we'd have seen him more. Someone saying give more credit to the win. I basically said at the start of the video, those first 20 minutes was the Manchester United that I used to love. I don't know what else you want me to say, because what else you want me to say on top of that? Yeah, this is a massive 3 points. I've said all that already. I don't know what else you want. I'm never one that goes far too over the top or far too doom and gloom. I'm always pretty in the middle, so chill out. Lionel Jesse, it's a good one, I like it. Lukaku went missing. See, that's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. He made some of those goals today. You're insane. Maybe you're watching football too superficially if you're just thinking it's all about the guys that are getting the final ball, or the final touch to put it in the net. Maybe he could have put a goal away, but he was involved in that win today. Absolutely played his part. Anyway, I'm going to be off. Very interested to see whether Jose Mourinho is asked if he fancies a rematch. Maybe the referee got it wrong and all the rest of that slip. Or maybe, not everyone's a complete and utter dick that does that all the time. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Keep a lot to Full-Time Devils for all the derby coverage coming out next week. And of course, in the middle of that, we've got Champions League match. But let's be honest, no one really cares about that. It's all about next weekend, isn't it? Thank you guys for tuning in. Adam and the lads are going to be giving all the fan cams from the Emirates in a very, very, very near future. Banging win today. Let us know in the comments who you thought was man of the match, and is there anybody in above the gay? There's not, is there? See you in a bit. Laters.